Senator Daines.
Thanks, Chairman McCormick. A few weeks ago, I made a swing through the Caucasus. This is a question for Ambassador Shapiro. I had the privilege to meet with President Aliyev. We had a very productive conversation. I think one of the undertold stories of what's happening certainly in that region of the world is what they've done to support Israel in terms of energy resources. I also had a chance to meet with the Israeli ambassador to Azerbaijan, Ambassador George Deek. It was a unique opportunity to explore the long-standing diplomatic ties between Azerbaijan and Israel, a relationship that only looks to grow stronger with the announcement of the SOCAR oil deal, which I think is going to help diversify the Israeli energy opportunities. Ambassador Shapiro, do you believe that Azerbaijan's relationship with Israel, which I think is an undertold story, might stand as an opportunity for other Islamic nations to expand diplomatic ties and work to normalize relations?
Thank you, Senator. I do. I think this relationship, as you said, is sort of underappreciated. Sometimes people would say, how can we expand the Abraham Accords? Maybe Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan has had diplomatic relations with Israel for many years, but it's one of the leading Muslim countries that has done that long before the Abraham Accords came on the scene. And because of their proximity to the region and even to the threats Israel faces from Iran, they've been a security partner. Because of their energy resources, they're an energy partner. Because of their Muslim population, they have
and I might add with that is it's the only country in the world that borders Russia and Iran.
So
very strategic.
Their strategic importance is really impossible to deny, but they also have that sort of cultural convening capability and able to build bridges to strengthen Israel's relations with other Arab and Muslim countries, including some in South Asia or Central Asia, which already have relations, but not as deep and as rich as Azerbaijan's. But as we've thought about ways of broadening those regional convenings to really have the sense of an European Union or an ASEAN-style organization or gathering of countries in the Middle East, Azerbaijan most certainly should take part in something like that.
I think Brzezinski described Central Asia as the wine bottle and Azerbaijan as the cork. It becomes a very important part of that east-west type corridor that you want to see happen here with Central Asia moving more in this direction when you think about who they're surrounded by and their neighbors to the north and to the east. Mr. Shapiro, in your testimony, you also laid out several things that have changed over the last 7 to 10 years regarding Iran's nuclear production and weapons delivery capabilities. I'd argue that Iran's intent is and has always been, regarding the nuclear capabilities, to create a nuclear weapon. If they were trying to create peaceful nuclear operations, why are they doing it way underground, why it took the B-2s to destroy that versus something on the surface? So I think we've settled that question. I think under the Obama administration, we had a big fight up here on Capitol Hill. What's Iran's intent? And I think we've been vindicated in terms of it was to build a nuclear warhead. Looking at their current capabilities, behavior, and rhetoric, do you believe that the U.S. should be concerned about their space program? Just in the last 24 hours, there have been news reports about the Iranians launching a rocket here for their satellite program. They're saying it's for peaceful purposes. As somebody who's from a state that's a third of our ICBMs, I think differently perhaps around the importance of space is to deliver an ICBM. Do you think their space program is a means for perfecting an intercontinental weapons system?
Senator, I'm not expert in the technology, but I do understand that there's not a huge difference between a space launch vehicle and an ICBM. And if you're able to master one technology, it's quite applicable to the other. What we clearly know about Iran, and of course we knew this in 2015 when the JCPOA was signed, and we knew it in 2018 when the U.S. withdrew from the JCPOA, is that Iran has unbridled hostility. They express it openly. It's their ideology. It's the kind of organizing principle of the regime toward Israel, which they've called for its destruction, toward the United States. They have, of course, pursued a nuclear weapons program. We understand that, but also a ballistic missile program. And we even saw the danger that program in its current state can cause in the destruction that Israel endured.
Yeah, which I think is part of the undertold story as well. Israel having to take preemptive action here was around those ballistic missiles, even absence of a nuclear warhead.
And they were on a
overwhelm the systems, the defense of Israel.
Exactly. They were on a path to produce 3,000 a year, really couldn't have been sustained. And so the same risk with an ICBM.
Thank you. Mr. Hook, I want to give you a chance to maybe to weigh in on this as well.
Yeah, the Iranian regime has been using its space program as a cover for its ICBM program for 10, 15 years or longer. And so I remember when I was working on the UN Security Council, passing resolutions condemning Iran's use of its space program for these purposes, to develop an ICBM capability so they can threaten the United States.
Thank you. I'm out of time, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
There's a lot more to talk about here. So
There
but
sure
thank you.
is.